All right, well, there's a lot to discuss here. Let's welcome in former Alabama running back and national champion Damien Harris. As we look at this game, both of these guys that we saw today, Jeanty and Travis Hunter, both had good days today. Take a look at the stats.
You see it, right?
Right. This here for Jeanty, we knew he was going to have to go over 200. I mean, the Heisman chase, the odds just spiked way in Travis Hunter's way.
Of course.
After
the first touchdown.
But the 226 here for Jeanty means that he has the most rushing yards in a season since Barry Sanders did it. Didn't break Barry's record, but since Barry Sanders in 1988. When you look at what these two guys have been able to do today, simultaneous games going on at once, how impressed were you with what you saw?
I mean, guys, this is why these are the two Heisman finalists. I mean, I know there's going to be more people invited to New York, but these numbers right here, this is greatness, and this is why these two guys are going to be the favorites to walk home with this award. Jeanty, we said it. He was going to have to put up a 200-yard performance close to the end of the season. Well, he's done that. The only problem is, well, Travis Hunter had 116 yards on 10 receptions and 3 touchdowns. And I was so mad that Boise State did not give Jeanty another touchdown at the end of the game, because this right here in comparison would have looked a lot better. But again, we're dissecting two of the most transcendent college football players that we've seen in a long time. Being able to watch these two games side by side and watch Travis make a play, then watch Ashton make a play, and then back and forth on both screens. I mean, this is what college football is about, seeing the best players in college football, especially at this point in the year where the cream starts to rise to the top, and that's exactly what these guys are doing. It shows up week in and week out. Like this right here, they've been doing this all year, folks. They've been doing this all season long, and it's been nothing short of impressive.
Jeanty, by the way, 341 yards away from Barry Sanders' record, which means he only has to, what, 170, 171 per game coming out?
That's it, right? That's it, right? But people at home, I tell you, it doesn't matter who you're playing against. I don't care what competition, what league you're playing in. To put up numbers like this on this many carries, that shows, first of all, this guy is durable. This guy can handle this many. He's been getting this many carries all season long. And to still, against 8-man boxes, 9-man boxes, sometimes it even seems like there's all 11 guys in the boxes. He's putting up 226 yards every single week and chasing a record that we thought would never even be touched, never even come close to. And this guy is within 400 yards of breaking that. I mean, I'm sure that would be really special to this young man.
And he did have a second touchdown, but it was called back on a holding call. So he did have a chance to get
That's the worst.
And this doesn't include Travis's defensive stats, by the way. He had the interception, the 2 pass breakups as well, and he also had a couple of tackles in there, I think, too. So doing it on both sides of the football. When you look at this, I mean, you were a guy who was a national champion. You then end your college career, you're getting ready for the NFL draft. When did you have the time, in relation to what these two guys are doing, to put it all into perspective?
You know what's funny is I still sit with my wife to this day, and I'm just now starting to realize, wow, I won 2 national championships. I won 3 SEC championships, because the game moves by so fast. Like, this is not the end for either of these gentlemen. Both of these guys are going to play at the next level for a very, very long time. So once the season is over, you're straight into draft prep, because you're not only are these guys going to be looked at as highly draftable prospects, but they're going to have room to improve that, whether it's combine, whether it's pro day at your school. Like, this guy, Jeanty, he can move from 15 to 10. Travis Hunter, he can talk his way into the #1 pick if a team doesn't need a quarterback. So, unfortunately, these guys are having unprecedented seasons, and they're not going to get to reflect on it and enjoy it as much as they should, but it's only because they're looking for what's next. And that's been another thing that's been great about these two players. As much success as they've had all season long, all they're worried about is the next play, the next game, the next rep, because they're team guys, they're leaders for their team, and they're obviously leading both of their teams to unprecedented seasons and success that they haven't seen in a long time.
We know that Boise State playing for Mountain West title, and right now, based on the way the college football playoff is laying out, they are a team that has a first-round bye. For Travis Hunter, Shedeur Sanders, and the Buffs, they're trying to stay alive in the Big 12 title chase, did their part today, and now need some help from some of the other teams. All right, well, you talk about draft positions. Ryan Wilson's latest mock draft is up, and of course, mock season is going to ramp up as we get into December and January. So here's who Ryan's got in terms of the top 10 picks right now. Here's your guy, Jeanty, sitting at number 10, right? So you see him into the top 10 now.
Jeanty, Joe Burrows, Jamar Chase, look out.
Yeah, that could be something dangerous. But now it's Cam Ward sitting at number 1, Shedeur Sanders at number 2, as the top 2 quarterbacks in the draft come off the board. Jacksonville, Ryan, I love when Ryan does this. He has a little trade, right? So the Raiders trading up, Jacksonville moving back to get Kelvin Banks Jr. the offensive tackle, and then Travis Hunter falling down to number 4. Going to the New England Patriots. I know you're smiling about that. All right, let's welcome in our draft analyst, Ryan Wilson, for more on this latest mock. Ryan is all dressed up for Black Friday here. Notably, Ryan, Travis Hunter falls down to 4th, and the Patriots. What was the impetus behind his tumble here?
Hey, good to see you guys. Happy Thanksgiving. Well, the mayor of Jacksonville, Pete Prisco, assures me that Travis Hunter will not go to Jacksonville should they have that opportunity because they need big guys, either on offense or on defense. So that explains the offensive tackle Calvin Banks Jr. out of Texas going there, and that allows Travis to slip a little bit to Damien's Patriots. And I love the idea of, number one, giving Drake May a legit offensive weapon at wide receiver, something they desperately need. And also, I love the idea of pairing Christian Gonzalez with Travis Hunter, and then that gives you a chance, at least in the pass game, versus the Josh Allens of the world. If he's there at 4, that feels like a layup to me. I know the Patriots need help along the offensive line. The last 2 years, they just drafted a bunch of interior offensive linemen, so maybe they try to figure this out in free agency or later in the draft. It's not a deep offensive line class, but there's only one Travis Hunter, and if he's there at 4, you might be kicking yourself in a year or two if you don't take him. And like I mentioned, Drake May's having a great start to his season, despite that lack of offensive line help, and you give him a playmaker. Someone like Travis Hunter, even if it's only for 15 to 20 snaps a game, because he might primarily be defensive first, I think that opens up a lot of things offensively. And then, as I mentioned, pairing him with Christian Gonzalez, a former first-round pick, who is a dog when he's healthy. I love the thought of that secondary taking shape should Travis find his way to Foxborough.
Ryan, I love your thoughts on Travis going to New England. That makes perfect sense to me for all the reasons you just said. But one thing I'm not sure I agree with is Las Vegas, via trade, taking Cam Ward over Shedeur. What have you seen to make you so confident that they should take Cam Ward #1 with the first overall pick?
Yeah, that's going to be the conversation, right, Damien? So a couple things. Tom Telesco, the general manager, first year in Las Vegas, he does not trade. When he was with the Los Angeles Chargers, they stayed put, took the best player that came to them. They got Justin Herbert, so that worked out. But beggars can't be choosers, and by that I mean this ain't last year's draft class where we had 6 quarterbacks go in the top 12. And I do wonder, the Raiders picked 16 and got Brock Bowers, or 13, excuse me. They got Brock Bowers, who's an absolute stud. But I do wonder if they wish they had moved up to get one of those quarterbacks. So that brings me back to this year's draft class. 2 guys for sure, first rounders, Shedeur Sanders out of Colorado, and they put the whooping on today against Oklahoma State, and then the aforementioned Cam Ward. And here's where I like Cam Ward just a hair more than Shedeur, and I think both young men have had great seasons to date, but Cam's a little taller, he's got a bigger arm, and he's a little better athlete. They both like to play hero ball at times, and it works out a lot of times, but sometimes that doesn't translate to the next level. We've seen Caleb Williams struggle with that as he's over the first month and a half of the season. He's been better the last few weeks for sure. But in recent weeks, I'll say this, I think Cam's done a better job of trying to get the ball out on time and playing on time. And the arm strength, he can make every single throw. But when he needs to get outside the pocket and buy time and then rip one down the field, he's capable of doing that as well. Shedeur's a good athlete. He's not a great athlete, and that's the only reason I have him a hair above. But we'll find out. We got 145 or so days until the actual draft, and the pre-draft process can change a lot. And we start measuring and poking these guys, Damien. Sometimes they're an inch taller than we thought or an inch shorter, and that can be all the difference in the world, even though at the end of the day, the tape should be what matters most. And for me, Cam's been a little bit better this fall, but I get it. There's going to be a real conversation among the 32 teams about who their QB1 is going to be ultimately.
145 days to the draft, which means that we've got, what, 70 mocks left to do? So we'll see what Ryan knows all about that when it's mock draft season. So we'll see what these 2 quarterbacks, it seems like we're going to be in a season where those 2 quarterbacks will kind of be flipping. One will be above the other, 1 week, 1 below. But Ryan, I want to ask you about Ashton Jeanty. Stays inside the top 10 going to the Bengals. What do you see as Jeanty's potential draft ceiling at this point?
Look, man, so we'll figure out what the Browns want to do with Deshaun Watson and the quarterback situation, because whether he stays or goes, it's going to be a lot of salary cap eaten up by Deshaun Watson. But I don't hate the idea of him going to the Browns either. We'll see where Nick Chubb is in his recovery. He's one of their best players, if not their best player on offense when healthy. I love the idea of him going there, and I love the idea, and maybe it's a vanity pick, of him going to the Cincinnati Bengals. And Damien mentioned Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, Ashton Jeanty. Good luck stopping that. T. Higgins is probably gone. He's on the franchise tag, and he'll probably look to get paid, and understandably so. But I put him in the same conversation as Jahmyr Gibbs and Bijan Robinson in terms of effectiveness. Now, he's not asked to do what those guys did in college in terms of the passing game, but if you go back and watch the snaps in which he's targeted through the air, he has pretty good hands. He can obviously make guys miss in space, and there's an opportunity for him at the next level to be used as a receiver in space and do punt return left, punt return right. He hasn't been given that opportunity at Boise State because, as Damien just pointed out, you just give him the ball and let him cook. And I don't know if I've seen anyone with that sort of twitch come out of college in a few years. Jameer Gibbs was special. Bijan Robinson was special. But what Jeanty's doing is also incredibly special, and I think he's a top 10 pick all day long, even though we're living in a world where we're sort of devaluing the running back position. Good luck finding someone more valuable to their team than Nash and Jeanty. The only other name that comes to mind is maybe Travis Hunter, but that's how good he's been this season.
Damien, just to follow on that, how much do you discount it, the fact that he plays in the Mountain West?
Well,
he's not playing power forward?
Zero. I was just about to ask Ryan to explain to the people, because we're sitting here talking about this guy's going to be a top 15, top 10 pick, but all you hear from the outside world is, oh, well, he plays in the G5. He's not playing against anybody. Well, I think guys like Ryan, I think NFL GMs, NFL head coaches, I think you guys have a lot more experience breaking down these guys. So explain to the people why the fact that he plays in the G5 doesn't matter. The fact that he's playing against lesser competition doesn't matter. Because in my mind, it makes absolutely zero difference. You said it best. He's the most twitchy, exciting, polarizing guy that I've seen since Reggie Bush. So please help me explain to these people why these, like, the competition, the schedule, why that doesn't matter when we're talking about a player as special as Ashton Jeanty.
And your words make me feel better, Damien, because obviously you have a lot of experience playing running back at a high level, so that speaks to Jeanty's abilities as well. And here's the other thing. If we were playing flag football, and you can put anyone out there to play defense, they're not touching him, so it doesn't matter whether they can tackle him or not because they can't even get hands on him. And my process is I'll watch a group of running backs at a time, and you get 7 or 8 or 9 running backs in, and they start to look the same, and then you turn on Ashton Jeanty's tape. It is a different planet. It is a different game in which he's playing. His short area quickness, his ability to change directions, his ability to jump not just one gap, but what feels like 2 gaps to hit a hole and hit a crease. And again, unless everyone in the non-Power 5 programs run 4.840s, no one is catching him. There's some athletes on other teams that can run in the 4.4s. No one has yet to run him down. And look, you can sleep on him if you want to, and then when your favorite team doesn't draft him and their rival does, and you can kick yourself for the next 7, 8, 9 years as to why you didn't think he was a good running back. You don't have to overthink it. Football doesn't have to be complicated, guys. You give the best player the ball and get out of the way, and Boise State has done a great job of doing that, and they're reaping the rewards of that.
Recent star running back who played G5, Aaron Jones.
And look at him now.
Played at UTEP.
Look at him now.
CBS Sports HQ draft analyst Ryan Wilson helping us discuss his latest mock draft, which is available for your viewing pleasure over on CBSSports.com. And Ryan and former general manager Rick Spielman are taking you through all of the draft prospects on the With the First Pick podcast. You can download and follow wherever you get your pods or scan that QR code. Get that latest episode right now.